Hello, hello. My name is CJ, and welcome to the tutorial on how to use or how to play on TinyWars. I make TinyWars content. Not a lot of it is on this channel. I probably will be making more on this channel though. But I'm a TinyWars commentator. This is Advance Wars Days of Ruin, but a fan game, a multiplayer fan game that you can play online. And it's decently popular, but I hope it gets more popular because it's really fun to play against other people and it has a lot of cool features. And so that's what I really want to talk about today. I want to do a tutorial on the site so that you can quickly get into games and use all of the features that help you learn the game and get better. So first, this is the landing page that you'll see when you enter. You're going to want to make an account and password. You could also log in as guest. That works too. If for some reason Chinese is your language of choice, you can always switch that over here too. There's also different versions. Classic is the most popular, but we have an experimental version where different changes have been made to try to play around with different stuff. And then the Days of Ruin version, which is very much as close to the original game as possible, but that one's not as popular. So we're going to go in Classic. If you do want to make an account, I would recommend changing your sound settings because the BGM is hella loud when you enter. But yeah, when you enter, this is the landing screen. You have your info on the side if you want to join the Discord, check the GitHub to see how this game works, kind of, look at the code a little bit. And there's also like the QQ group. But yeah, you'll see profile on the top left. There's some settings on the top right. You have multiplayer, ranked match, and single player options over here. You have profile down here too. Chat, map editor, game chart. But I'm not going to go into all of those things right now. I just want to cover some of the basics. So if you're new to the game especially, right, you're going to want to check out single player and check out campaign because there's actually tutorials in here. And they're actually pretty nice. They teach you about the features of the game, or more so the units if you're new to Days of Ruin. But that's something to check out. And then if you want to play multiplayer games, get into games quickly, there is stuff in the multiplayer menu. There's different modes, like match mode is unranked matchmaking. Normal mode is creating and just joining open lobbies. What else? We got co-op mode for co-op games. Free mode is for generally testing out new maps. And then there's tournaments that probably will be covered in a different video. What I do want to go into more so is ranked match. Ranked match because when you get into the game, you can go straight into ranked if you want. It's not a bad idea, honestly. Like even if you're bad, you'll just lose, but you can learn stuff, and you shouldn't worry too much about your rating. I'm not even going to show the rating right now anyways, but just how to start a ranked match. And the method is very similar to unranked matchmaking as well, but ranked match, you can set the number of games that you want, up to 10 at a time for both standard and Fog of War. You can choose to ban maps, so you would want to preview the maps, look at which maps you think would be interesting. If you're first starting out, you might be okay with just trying anything because you're new to the game, you just want to try something. So you might not want to ban something, but say you do, like Relegate for example is a mixed base map. That's a little bit more complex to play on, so maybe I want to ban that. So you can choose Relegate to ban. And in the Fog of War side, if you switch over, these are the Fog of War maps, right? You can just look through these briefly, figure out which ones you don't want to play. Maybe I don't want to play Mini Mix, or something like that. Then I can ban Mini Mix. and oh, I didn't click confirm earlier, I think. Yeah, I didn't click confirm earlier when I went to ban relegate. But anyways, I can ban 2 maps for each rotation. And then you can set the game timer. So by default, this is showing that I want to play a standard or fog game with a 3-day timer. Because oftentimes, well, these are basically all asynchronous games. So, and you're playing with people from around the world as well. And so, in order to give everyone sufficient time to play, the lower limit is 1 day, but the default is 3 days per turn. So you do all your moves, you end your turn, then your opponent goes. Then when your opponent is done, you get 3 days for your entire turn. So by doing this, you can basically change your matchmaking rules. So if I said 3 and 3, that means all my games, I want them to be 3-day turns. But if I did 1 to 7, that means it doesn't matter what setting my opponent wants to do. I am fine with any of it, any of the time controls. And I believe by default, it will choose the shortest, common time limit between you and your opponents. So say I did 2 and 4, and then my opponent had it set as 3 and 5. If we are matched, if we're within a general skill level range, and we're open to games at the same time, then we'll get matched at 3 because that is kind of our common zone for time control. So you set that, and you set the number of games. So maybe I want to do 1 and 2 fog games or something like that. And that will basically put you into the system for playing that many games. And you may get matched immediately. It might take hours for the system to match you, but you will get matched into a game. And if you join the Discord server, you can link your Discord ID to your TinyWars profile so that you get notifications anytime a lobby opens up, or when it's your turn in the game, or when one of your games has ended. So that's how you, I guess, sign up for a game. One thing I do want to talk about also is the ban phase. It doesn't look like this exactly, but when you're in a ranked game, it'll say like a room has opened or something like that, and each player gets 6 bans. So you could say I'm going to ban Isabella, Gage plus, Tasha plus, and Penny or something like that, right? In this case, this isn't actually showing how it would be in the ranked match, but those COs would be banned for both players. And then your opponent will do the same, ban a couple characters. Those COs will also be banned for both players. And you can ban up to 6 characters, or 6 COs. And then after that, it'll go into the pick phase, where you can pick which CO you want to play as. So, say my opponent also banned like Lynn, Forsyth, and Waylon, then the available people to play would be like Brenner, Will, Gage, Tasha, Tabitha, etc. We also have custom COs, which I'm not going to talk about right now, but then at this point you would be free to choose Brenner or something like that. Your opponent would also be free to choose Brenner or choose Will or something else. So that is how picks and bans generally work. And then once that happens, then you'll be set up in your game, and as I said before, like you'll have that 3-day timer or whatever time control that you and your opponent had agreed upon, and that would be the start of the game. So that is the very basics. This is already a 10-minute long video, so I think I'm going to stop there. Next up, I'll get into more complexity, into maybe a little bit more in depth into the different modes. But that's it for now. Just wanted to cover how to make an account, how to look at the brief overview of the site, and look at how to get into a game. So I'll see you all in the next video.